The War Academy of Varkon Prime was legendary, a name whispered with awe across the galaxies. This was the crucible where the universe's most formidable warriors were forged. The Dravens, the Kor, the Zilari, and countless others, each race hardened by 100 wars. It was a place of brutal strength and ancient martial traditions. And into this world a human had never ever been accepted. Until Serena Vale walked through its colossal gates. Next to the towering aliens, she looked almost breakable. Her slender frame and serene expression were an open invitation for ridicule. And the other recruits didn't hold back. Laughter echoed in the vast halls. Some pointed with their multi-jointed fingers. Others whispered in harsh guttural tongues. The Draven soldiers, hulking beasts clad in heavy armor with 4 powerful arms, guffawed openly. "Is this some kind of joke?" One of them grunted, his voice like grinding stone. "A fragile little human among warriors?" Serena offered no reply. Her gaze swept across the massive training hall, cataloging everything. The racks of advanced energy weapons, the suits of heavy combat armor, the training targets scarred by countless plasma blasts. Her eyes were quiet, yet they moved with a sharp analytical precision, as if she were dissecting every potential weakness in the room. In the very structure, in everyone present, the Academy's commander, General Korath, loomed over her. He stood nearly 3 meters tall, his scales the color of dried blood, his eyes burning like twin coals. "Human," his voice rumbled, slow and deliberate. "Do you understand where you are? This place breaks warriors far stronger than you could ever be." "I know," Serena replied, her voice steady and clear. "I'm here to learn, and to prove something." A deep, thunderous laugh escaped Korath. "Then prove it," he challenged. "Survive your first day." The instant the signal bell rang, the arena exploded into a whirlwind of activity. Dozens of alien recruits launched into their drills, sprinting at impossible speeds, lifting metal blocks the size of small shuttlecraft, and sparring with crackling energy blades. Serena tried to join a small group, but they closed ranks, shutting her out. A Kor soldier, a massive reptilian alien with thick, scaled hide, stepped forward to block her path. "You don't belong here, human," he snarled. "Go home before someone gets hurt." A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched Serena's lips. "Maybe someone will." The Kor let out a low growl. "Fine. Let's make it official." A crowd gathered in an instant. The aliens loved a good fight, especially one that promised a bit of cruel entertainment. The betting was silent but universal. The human wouldn't last more than a few seconds. The sparring ring ignited and shimmering blue energy shields rose to enclose the two combatants. General Korath crossed his massive arms, a glint of amusement in his fiery eyes. "Begin." The Kor soldier charged, his movements a blur of reptilian fury. His energy blade sliced down like a falling guillotine. But Serena, she simply wasn't there. She moved with a speed that defied logic, a fluid, impossible grace. The air cracked where she had been standing just a millisecond before. She reappeared at the alien's side, calm as ice, and delivered a precise tap to his wrist. His weapon clattered to the floor. Before the crowd could even process what had happened, she used his own forward momentum against him, flipping effortlessly over his broad back and delivering a sharp kick to the back of his leg. He crashed to the ground, face first. A collective gasp swept through the arena. Serena stood perfectly still, her breathing even. Next, a Draven commander, one of the Academy's elite instructors, dropped into the ring, his power armor glowing with contained energy. "You think you can beat real warriors?" he sneered, activating all 4 of his weaponized arms. The bell rang again. He attacked in a storm of strikes, a dizzying onslaught from every direction at once. The crowd could barely track his movements. But Serena was a phantom in the storm. She ducked, twisted, and flowed around the attacks, her movements economical and utterly serene. Then she saw her opening. She struck once, an open palm to the center of his chest. His armor dented with a sickening thud, and the massive Draven was sent flying backward out of the ring. The entire hall fell into a stunned, deafening silence. Before anyone could even think to speak, a third challenger appeared. A Zilari commander, his skin a shimmering, iridescent blue, hissed with fury. Enough of this humiliation, I will crush her myself. He attacked with pure blinding speed, a blur of motion and flashing energy blades. For a heart-stopping moment it seemed Serena was finally overwhelmed, but her eyes never wavered. She shifted her stance, her body coiled like a spring, waiting for that one, single, perfect moment. Then, crack. One precise strike. The Zalari's blade shattered into 1,000 pieces. His body crumpled to the floor. 3 commanders, 3 elite warriors, defeated in mere seconds. The silence that followed was heavier and louder than any cheer. Even General Korath's face had transformed. The amusement was gone, replaced by a sharp, calculating intensity. Serena calmly adjusted her gloves. "Still think humans don't belong here?" she asked softly. After that day, everything changed. The whispers stopped, the laughter died. Now, when Serena Vale walked through the hallowed halls of Varkon Prime, every alien head turned to watch her, not with mockery but with a new, unsettling mixture of fear and profound curiosity, because none of them knew how a fragile-looking human could possess such devastating power. None of them knew what kind of brutal training she must have endured on her distant world, and none of them knew the secret she carried deep inside her. But soon, they would. Days after the duel that shook Varkon Prime to its core, the name Serena Vale was whispered in every corridor. They called her the fragile human, but now it was a title laced with fear and awe. She paid the fame no mind. Her focus was singular. In the cold, dark hours before dawn, she trained alone. The alien guards on watch swore they saw her move faster than their scanners could track. Sometimes a flicker of strange, electric blue light would dance around her hands, vanishing in a blink. The rumors spread like wildfire. Was she cybernetically enhanced? Part machine? Or was she something else entirely? Even General Korath, the same commander who had once openly mocked her, now watched her every move. One night he summoned her to his private chamber. The hall was a museum of war, filled with the relics of forgotten battles, broken blades, alien armor, and holographic maps of distant conflicts. Korath stood before a glowing projection of the Galactic front line, where 1,000 species prepared for war against the Zin Collective, a terrifying race of sentient machines. His deep voice echoed in the silence. "You are not a normal human. Your strength, your speed. It's not possible. What are you hiding?" Serena's expression remained unreadable. "I'm not hiding anything. I'm remembering." "Remembering?" Korath's brow furrowed. She turned her gaze to the vast star map. "Humans were part of the First War. You've just forgotten about us." He scoffed. "The First War was 10,000 years ago. No species from that era survives." A faint, knowing smile touched Serena's lips. "Some do." For a fleeting second, the air around her pulsed with a visible wave of light, an energy waking from a deep, ancient sleep. Korath instinctively stepped back. "What are you?" She looked at him, her eyes holding the weight of millennia. Humanity wasn't the weakest. We were sealed, until now. That night, Serena dreamed she was floating in a desert of stars, surrounded by the ghostly ruins of ancient human warships, erased from history. A voice, ancient and powerful, spoke from the darkness. "Child of Earth, the seal is breaking." She turned to face a figure of pure light, its form shifting like a living flame. "You are the last vessel," it said. "The others failed, but you carry the code." "Who are you?" Serena asked, reaching out. "I am what remains of the Star Guard, the old protectors of humanity. Long ago, the other races betrayed us. They feared what we could become." The light intensified, blinding her. "Your awakening has begun, Serena Vale. But beware. When your power rises, the galaxy will remember why it feared humankind." She woke with a start, trembling, her palms glowing with that same ethereal blue energy from her dream. Then, the sirens wailed. The Academy was under attack. Plasma cannons ripped across the sky. The Zin Collective had found them. Silver ships descended like fiery rain. their machine soldiers tearing through the Academy's defenses. Korath barked orders, his troops scrambling, but they were being overwhelmed. Then, a cry went up from the chaos. "Where's the human?" There, in the center of the courtyard stood Serena. The glow from her hands was no longer faint. It pulsed like a furious heartbeat. A massive Zin war drone, a metal beast with 6-bladed arms, locked onto her and fired. The plasma beam struck and simply vanished. When the smoke cleared, Serena was untouched. The air around her shimmered, and then energy erupted from her body like a storm. Her voice was terrifyingly calm. "You want to see what humans can do?" She moved. It wasn't just speed. It was like she teleported. One flash of movement, and the war drone was ripped to pieces by an invisible force. Every soldier, alien and machine, froze. Serena raised her head, her gaze fixed on the ships descending from the sky. "This world isn't falling today." Her power exploded outward, forming a shimmering dome of pure light around the entire Academy. Thousands of plasma blasts hammered against the barrier, but nothing got through. Inside, the battle-hardened warriors could only stare in disbelief. Korath whispered, "By the stars. She's not human. She's something far, far older." When the assault finally ceased, the barrier dissolved and Serena fell to her knees, exhausted. The light faded from her eyes. Medics rushed to her side, but she waved them away. "I'm fine." Korath approached, his voice filled with a reverence he'd never shown before. "You saved us all. But why reveal this now?" Serena looked up at him, her voice weak but laced with steel. "Because this was just the beginning. The Zin are not acting alone." "Then who?" Her eyes turned cold as the void between stars. "The ones who betrayed humanity the first time are coming back." As the stars burned brightly over Varkon Prime, a forgotten war began to stir once more. A war erased from every history book but one. And this time, humanity was waking up. The sky above Varkon Prime was still aglow from the battle. Smoke billowed over shattered towers, and the air was thick with the scent of metal and fire. The alien warriors worked silently, repairing what they could, but their eyes kept drifting to a single place, the medical wing where Serena Vale lay resting. She had saved them. One human against an entire army of machines. Inside the chamber, soft blue lights pulsed around her bed. Serena's eyes were closed, her pulse slow, her skin pale. The immense energy she had unleashed had drained her completely. General Korath stood by the door, arms crossed, his face a mask of concern. His second in command, Commander Zell, entered quietly. "Is she still unconscious?" Korath nodded. "Yes, but she's changing." He gestured to the monitor. Serena's heartbeat wasn't normal. It pulsed in two distinct rhythms, one human and one something else entirely. "She's not what we thought," Korath murmured. "Not just human. There's something ancient inside her." Hours later, Serena's eyes finally fluttered open. The faint glow had returned to her skin, a steady, soft light. Korath stepped forward. "You've been asleep for 2 days." Serena sat up slowly, the world coming back into focus. "The Zin? Destroyed or in retreat," he confirmed. "But they'll be back, and they'll bring more." Serena looked down at her hands, flexing her fingers. "Then we don't have much time." Korath hesitated, his voice low. "You said the Zin are not alone. Who are they working with?" Serena stood, still weak, but her gaze firm. "An old enemy, one we thought was gone forever." Later that day, the Academy's deep-range scanners picked up a strange signal, originating from far beneath the planet's surface. It wasn't Zin. It wasn't anything they had ever seen before. Korath and Serena led a small team into the newly discovered underground tunnels. The walls were ancient, far older than the Academy, older even than the Draven Empire itself, and carved into the stone were symbols, human symbols. Commander Zell ran a scan, his voice filled with disbelief. "This is impossible. Humans never came here." Serena traced her fingers along the carvings, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. Not recently, but long ago. Before history was rewritten, they ventured deeper, the air growing colder, the light dimmer. At last, they entered a vast chamber dominated by a metallic vault sealed with glowing runes. "What is this place?" Korath asked, his voice echoing in the stillness. Serena stepped forward, a sense of destiny settling over her. "It's where they buried our first messenger." "Messenger?" Before she could explain, the ground trembled. The runes on the vault lit up one by one. A beam of light shot upward, and the chamber filled with a sound like 1,000 voices whispering at once. A hologram materialized, a tall, armored figure, glowing with pale blue energy. Its face was human. "Designation Starguard Unit 1, the figure announced, activating last memory protocol. The alien soldiers instinctively raised their weapons, but Serena lifted her hand. "No, it's one of us." The hologram turned its gaze to her. "You carry the code. The time has come." "What time?" Serena asked. "The second contact." The hologram flickered, projecting images into the air. Earth as it once was, a jewel shining with advanced cities and fleets of starships. Then the images shifted to fire, planets burning, alien fleets attacking humanity from all sides. The voice spoke again. "When the great betrayal began, the Starguard sealed Earth's power. We placed fragments of the ancient code within chosen bloodlines. You are the last of those carriers." Korath watched, stunned. "You mean humanity was once the most advanced species?" Serena nodded slowly, the truth settling heavily upon her. "We didn't lose the war. We were erased from history." The hologram's tone became urgent. "Warning, the betrayers return. The Zin were only their tools. The true enemy is near." "Who?" Serena demanded. But before the hologram could answer, the chamber shook violently. Rocks rained down from the ceiling. Commander Zell shouted, "Multiple life forms approaching, fast!" A metallic screech filled the tunnel. The Zin drones had found them. But this time, they weren't alone. Through the dust strode tall figures in dark armor. They were not machines, not any known alien race. Their eyes glowed with a cold golden light. Serena froze, a chilling recognition washing over her. Impossible. The ethereals. Korath turned to her, his weapon ready. "Who are they?" "They're the ones who destroyed old Earth." The ethereal leader stepped forward, his voice as calm and sharp as glass. "Serena, Veil of Earth. The seal should have stayed closed. You should not exist." Korath leveled his weapon. "You'll have to go through us." The ethereal simply smiled. "Gladly." With a flick of his hand, the air itself exploded. Energy waves tore through the walls, knocking the soldiers back. Serena barely managed to shield Korath, her own power sparking wildly. She shouted over the chaos, "Get the others out. I'll hold them." Korath's eyes widened. "You can't fight them alone." "I'm not alone," she said, and slammed her palm flat against the ground. The runes on the vault blazed with blinding light. The Starguard hologram flared, and a torrent of energy poured into Serena. Her body began to glow, her hair lifting in a storm of light. The ethereal leader's eyes narrowed. "So, the awakening is complete." Serena's voice echoed, calm but imbued with immense power. "No, it's just beginning." A brilliant flash filled the chamber, light, heat, and sound merging into one deafening moment. When it faded, the ethereals were gone, the vault was half destroyed, and Serena lay unconscious once more. But in the silence that followed, the hologram's voice whispered one final message. "The first contact is made. Prepare for the return of the star gods." What an incredible chapter in this unfolding saga. Darkness. Cold. A soft metallic hum filled the silence as Serena slowly opened her eyes. She wasn't on Varkon Prime anymore. Her body floated in a glowing cube of light, a gravity cell, holding her suspended in midair. Energy restraints bound her wrists and ankles. Her head ached, and her chest burned faintly where her power had last exploded. Beyond the shimmering cell walls, she saw the pale gray landscape of a moon base, alien machinery, towers of steel and crystal, and guards that looked half living, half metal. The ethereals. They had taken her. A door hissed open. Light footsteps echoed. The ethereal commander, the same one who had fought her beneath Varkon Prime, entered the chamber. His golden eyes glowed faintly, his voice calm and cold. "You should have stayed asleep, Serena Vale." Serena glared at him. "You're afraid of what happens when humans wake up." He smiled thinly. "Afraid? No. But we remember. We remember the last time humanity rose. You burned half the galaxy trying to rule it." "That's not what happened," she retorted. "You betrayed us. You erased us." The ethereal tilted his head. "Call it balance. The universe cannot handle what you are." He turned away, pressing his hand to a glowing console. Holograms filled the air, star maps, human DNA sequences, and images of Serena's face. "You carry the final code," he said, "the Genesis Protocol. The power that once gave your kind the ability to reshape matter, energy, and even life. We will take it from you, and end the human line forever." Serena closed her eyes, breathing slowly. "You can try." While the ethereals studied her, far away on Varkon Prime, General Korath gathered what remained of the academy. They had lost many soldiers, but he refused to give up. "She saved us once," he growled. "We're not leaving her behind." Commander Zell nodded. "But we don't even know where they took her." Korath slammed his fist on the table. "Then we find out she's one of us now." A tech officer interrupted. "General, we picked up a trace signal, faint but human-coded. It's coming from the Vera moon near the Zin sector." Korath's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a strike team, we're going to the moon." Back on the moon base, Serena hung in silence. Her strength was slowly returning. A voice whispered in her mind, soft, familiar. "Serena, do you hear us?" It was the Star Guard. "You are inside the ethereal vault. They cannot sense this channel. You must escape. Your body is the key." Serena focused her breath. "Tell me how." "Remember who you are," the voice urged. "Not a soldier. A builder. Humanity's true strength was never destruction. It was creation." The restraints tightened. Energy sparked along the walls. The commander turned sharply. "What are you doing?" Serena opened her eyes, glowing now, brighter than before. "I'm remembering." The lights exploded. The chamber trembled as the energy fields shattered. Serena dropped to the ground in a burst of blue fire. The ethereal commander shielded his face. "Impossible!" Serena straightened, the glow spreading across her skin like living lightning. "You can't cage a human soul." She raised her hands, and the metal walls twisted, melting into new shapes. She launched herself through the door as alarms screamed. Outside, hundreds of guards charged. Serena moved through them like a storm. Every shot dissolved before touching her. Every strike sent her enemies flying, but she wasn't killing. She was freeing them. Each ethereal soldier she touched flickered, their golden eyes turning blue for an instant, their minds waking. They were enslaved, trapped inside machine bodies, and Serena's power was breaking their control. Meanwhile, Korath's strike ship dropped out of warp above the moon. "We've found her," the pilot shouted. On the screen, they saw the chaos, a single glowing figure tearing through enemy lines. Korath's lips curved into a sharp grin. "That's her. All units, deploy." Inside the base, the ethereal commander cornered Serena near the control core. "You can't win," he hissed. "That power will destroy you, just like it did your ancestors." Serena looked at him calmly. "No, they destroyed themselves because they forgot what we stood for." "And what is that?" She placed her hand on the core. "Hope." The light flared, brighter than a sun. The base shook violently. For a heartbeat, everything stopped. Then the walls melted away, the sky opened, and Serena was gone. Moments later, Korath's ship detected a massive energy surge, then silence. "General, the pilot said softly. The moon base. It's gone. Korath stared at the glowing fragments in space. No, she's alive. I can feel it. The war just changed. Far across the galaxy, a new light flickered into existence. Serena stood on a platform of glass and stars. Before her, a massive door carved with symbols older than time. The Starguard's voice echoed, "You've done well, Serena Vale. Now the next truth awaits, the place where the gods of humanity sleep." Serena looked up at the stars, her expression calm and fierce. "Then let's wake them." In the cold, silent void where stars drifted like eternal dust, Serena Vale stood upon a platform of silver glass. The cold, silent void. Only the stars moved. Slow, cold, eternal. Serena Vale stood on a floating platform of silver glass, staring at a massive gate. It pulsed with a faint light, carved with symbols older than any known language. Each one glowed as if responding to her heartbeat. This was the cradle of the ancients. Behind that gate slept something far beyond her understanding, the source of humanity's first power, and maybe the weapon that had once destroyed half the galaxy. Serena's voice echoed softly. So this is where they hid the truth. The voice of the Starguard, gentle but deep, answered from within her mind. Not hid, Serena. Protected. Humanity's greatest gift became its greatest curse. The ancients sealed themselves away so no one could use it again. Serena touched the glowing door. The symbols brightened. Then why bring me here? Because the seal is weakening. The ethereals and the Zin seek to awaken what they cannot control. If they succeed, all life will end. Only you can face what sleeps inside. Far away, aboard a battered warship, General Korath tracked Serena's last energy surge. She vanished after the moon collapsed, Commander Zell said. But the readings, they're not from normal space. It's like she crossed into another dimension. Korath's claws tightened. Then we find a way to follow her. She's the key to all of this. Back at the cradle, the massive gate began to open. A blinding light poured out, swallowing everything. Serena stepped inside. What she saw made her heart stop. An endless chamber stretched before her, filled with thousands of sleeping giants, each one human-shaped but enormous, their bodies made of living energy and crystal. They floated in golden light, motionless but alive. The star gods, the first humans, the creators of the Starguard. Serena whispered, "They're real." The voice inside her spoke again. These are the ancients. When they saw what their power did, they chose eternal sleep. But one day, someone worthy was meant to return, to remind them what humanity truly was. "Why me?" Serena asked quietly. "Because you carry both halves, the heart of a creator and the will of a warrior." As she stepped forward, one of the giants stirred. Its eyes glowed, focusing on her. A deep, echoing voice filled the chamber. "Child of Earth, you woke us." Serena bowed her head. "I didn't mean to disturb you, but the universe is falling apart. The ethereals are returning." The star god's eyes dimmed in sorrow. "We warned them once. They did not listen." "Then help me stop them," Serena said. "Help me save them." The chamber rumbled as the giants began to move. "If we rise," the voice said, "the universe will burn again." "Then let me fight instead," Serena said firmly. "Give me your strength, not your wrath." For a long moment there was silence. Then the star god raised his hand. A beam of light touched Serena's chest. "Then take the memory of the stars, and carry our power with mercy." The light burst through her, warm and endless. Visions flashed before her eyes. Ancient battles, the moment humanity fell, the pain, the pride, the betrayal. When the light faded, Serena fell to her knees, gasping. The glow around her was brighter than ever. She was no longer just human. She was something more. Far across the galaxy, the ethereal High Council felt the shockwave. In their citadel of black glass, the leader rose. His eyes burned gold. "She's awakened them," he hissed. What shall we do, my lord? Another asked. The leader's voice was like thunder. Prepare the fleets. If the gods rise, we will burn the heavens before they return. Serena opened her eyes. The ancients had gone still again. Their duty passed to her, the Starguard's voice whispered. Their wrath now lives in you, but their wisdom does too. Do not let fury guide you. Serena looked up. I won't. I'll finish what they started. She turned toward the open gate, her body glowing with controlled energy. Her face was calm, determined. I am Serena Veil of Earth, she said softly. Daughter of the forgotten, voice of the lost. Humanity has returned. As she stepped back into the void, her signal flashed across the galaxy. Korath's scanners lit up. General, she's alive, Zell gasped. And she's not alone. Korath stared at the readings. What is that energy signature? The tech officer whispered. It's thousands of them, but they're asleep. Korath smiled grimly. Then let's make sure they wake up on our side. Meanwhile, the ethereal fleets began to move, dark ships like blades slicing through the stars. At their center, their golden-eyed leader whispered, Let them rise. This time, we will finish what we started. The galaxy was on fire. Across 1,000 star systems, the ethereal fleet moved like a silent golden plague, extinguishing civilizations with effortless cruelty. Worlds surrendered, species knelt, but one planet refused to break. Varkon Prime. It was here, in the heart of the Resistance, where a single human had once changed the course of history. Inside the command tower, General Korath, a warrior etched by 100 battles, watched holographic projections of red fleets choking their sector. His resolve was a fortress, but weariness crept at the edges. His second-in-command, Zell, entered with a report. Sir, the Allied fleets are waiting. The Dravens, the Kor, the Zalari, they're all asking for your orders. Korath gave a slow, heavy nod. And the human? Zell paused. No signal, General. Korath's gaze drifted to the star-dusted void. She'll come. She has to. Far beyond their reach, in the cold vacuum of deep space, Serena Veil floated. A thin, shimmering aura of starlight encased her, the dormant power of the ancients thrumming within her very cells. The whispers of sleeping star gods echoed in her mind. A final, ancient warning. You carry our fire. Use it wisely, or lose everything again. Serena's eyes snapped open, her voice a steady anchor in the cosmic silence. Then it's time to return home. With a simple extension of her hand, space itself warped, and a doorway of pure light tore through the fabric of reality, connecting her to the war. On Varkon Prime, the drums of battle began their thunderous rhythm. A coalition of alien fleets, a beautiful, terrifying tapestry of designs assembled in orbit. The sky burned with the glow of 1,000 engines, all preparing for the fight that would decide their collective fate. Korath's voice boomed across the comms, a rallying cry to his warriors. We fight not for glory, not for conquest, but for our very survival. They believe we are weak. Today, we prove them wrong. Just then, a new voice cut through the static, calm, familiar, and undeniably human. Save your speech, General. I'm already here. The command center went silent. High above the planet, descending through the clouds like a falling star, a single figure appeared, wreathed in silver energy. Serena Veil was back. As she landed, the very ground rippled with contained power. Soldiers of every race stared, their awe a palpable force. Korath stepped forward, a predator's grin splitting his face. Took you long enough. Serena offered a faint smile. Had to borrow some power on the way. He let out a short, proud laugh. You're just in time. The ethereals are coming. Serena looked up at the golden ships forming their attack lines. Her eyes began to glow a faint ethereal blue. I know. Let's show them what happens when humanity stands together. Moments later, war erupted. Thousands of ships clashed. Plasma beams crisscrossed the void like lightning in a bottle. Korath's command ship charged the front lines. Hold formation. Protect the ground forces at all costs. Down below, Serena became the eye of the storm. Each time an ethereal weapon screamed toward the planet, she raised a hand, and a barrier of light absorbed the blast. But their numbers were endless. Hours bled into a day of smoke and fire. Cities burned. The ethereals unleashed their world breakers, colossal war machines the size of mountains. One landed near the old academy ruins, its golden eyes glowing as it charged a planet-killing shot. Serena looked up. Not this time. She launched into the air, a silver comet meeting the machine's gaze. A voice like grinding tectonic plates boomed, "You cannot stop the inevitable." Serena's hair floated in the storm of her own power. Maybe not. But I can delay it long enough for everyone else to fight back. She struck. A single, focused lance of blue fire pierced the world breaker's core. The resulting explosion lit up half the sky. A cheer went up from Korath's crew, but it was short-lived. More ethereal ships warped in, their leader's voice haunting every frequency. "You cannot win, Serena Vale. You carry a dead god's dream. We will erase it again." Serena landed hard, breathing heavily, her power flickering. "Then I'll make sure humanity's dream outlives even death." As the battle raged, a shift occurred. Alien soldiers fought with renewed ferocity, their cries echoing across the war-torn landscape. "For the human!" a Draven warrior shouted. "For Serena Vale!" a Zellari sniper whispered. The galaxy, once divided, was now united by a single defiant idea: humanity fights back. Serena raised her hand one last time. "All units, fall back to my signal." Korath's voice came through urgent. "What are you doing?" Her reply was simple. "Ending this." She closed her eyes. The light around her pulsed, growing brighter until the entire planet shone like a new sun. She whispered a single word. "Awaken." From the edge of the galaxy, the ancient energy answered. The star gods stirred. The ethereal ships froze, their power failing. Their leader screamed, "No, not again!" Serena opened her eyes. Yes, again. A wave of pure, cleansing energy erupted from Varkon Prime, sweeping across the stars and shattering the enemy fleets into cosmic dust. Silence. The sky was clear. The war was over. Korath approached her slowly. "You did it." Serena smiled, exhausted but triumphant. "We did it." He looked at her glowing hands. "What now?" She looked to the stars. "There's still one more war. He's waiting in the dark." Korath nodded, his loyalty absolute. "Then we'll follow you, human." Serena turned, a tired grin on her face. "Then call me what I really am." He tilted his head. Her voice was calm and impossibly proud. "Commander of humanity." The war was over, but peace never came easy in the galaxy. Varkon Prime floated in silence, a wounded world beneath new sunlight. The fires had stopped, yet the air still carried the memory of war. Craters scarred the land where cities once stood, and in the center of the ruins stood Serena Vale, the human who had defied gods. Her eyes no longer glowed. The energy inside her, the gift of the ancients, had faded after the final strike. But deep inside, she still felt something. A heartbeat that wasn't hers. The star gods were not gone. They were waiting. In the command center, General Korath looked out at the rebuilding camps. Thousands dead, millions wounded. "But we survived," he said quietly. Beside him, Commander Zell nodded. "The ethereals are gone." Serena entered, silent as a shadow. "No," she said. "They're not gone. Their leader escaped, and he's calling something older, something far worse." Korath frowned. "Worse than gods?" She looked out into the dark sky. Yes, the ones the star gods were afraid of. Far beyond the edge of known space, in a forgotten system of dying suns, the ethereal leader knelt before an ancient structure, black and alive, pulsing like a heart. He whispered, "Awaken, Father of Eternity." The humans have touched the sacred fire. They must be erased. The structure opened like an eye. A voice spoke, slow, deep, and older than time. Then let us finish what we started. The darkness began to move. Days later, strange signals appeared on every scanner in the galaxy. Stars flickered. Time itself warped. Ships vanished without a trace. The Alliance prepared for one last war. Serena stood on the command deck of the rebuilt flagship, the Valor of Terra. Her armor shimmered faintly, patched with alien metal. Around her stood the leaders of a dozen species, once enemies, now united. Korath crossed his arms. If this is the end, human, I'm glad I'm standing with you. Serena smiled faintly. Then let's make it a good ending. The enemy came from the void, massive shadow fleets that devoured light. They didn't use weapons. Their ships moved like living creatures tearing through reality itself. Even the most advanced technology failed before them. Zell shouted, "They're bending space, we can't lock targets." Serena's voice was calm. Then we fight with what they don't understand. She closed her eyes and reached out, not with her hands but with her mind. Far away in the heart of the galaxy, the star gods stirred again. Their ancient voices echoed in her soul. "You call us again, child of Earth." Serena whispered, "I need your strength. One last time. Then pay the price." A light brighter than 1,000 suns erupted across the fleet. Every soldier, every pilot, every warrior felt it. A pulse of power flowing through them. The ships of the Alliance began to glow with blue fire. The same energy that once belonged only to the ancients now lived in them all. Serena opened her eyes, now blazing with twin stars. "This is humanity's stand. Let's finish this." The final battle began. The Alliance fleets charged, their weapons powered by ancient energy. The void creatures roared, a sound that made space itself tremble. Korath's ship rammed through enemy lines, his voice booming. For Varkon, for humanity. Zell's squadron flew in tight formation, firing beams of living light. Serena moved at the center of it all, a human-turned legend controlling fleets with a thought, her voice guiding millions. When the Father of Eternity appeared, space cracked open. It wasn't a being, it was a presence endless and terrible. Its voice echoed across every mind. "You think you can stop the eternal cycle, little human?" Serena faced the darkness without fear. "I'm not here to stop it, I'm here to rewrite it." She raised her hands, and the light of the star gods answered. The two powers, darkness and light, clashed. Worlds shook. Stars screamed. Reality tore apart under the pressure of creation and destruction colliding. Serena could feel her body breaking, her mind burning. But she didn't stop. "You will die, child," the voice thundered. "Maybe," she whispered, "but not alone." And then, she let go. A shockwave of pure light spread across the galaxy. The darkness was consumed. The ethereal leader was erased, his ships turned to dust. When the light faded, there was silence. The fleets of the Alliance drifted quietly through calm space. The stars were clear again. But Serena Vale was gone. Weeks passed. Statues were built on every world, of the human who united the galaxy. Songs were written. Children spoke her name like a promise. General Korath stood before one of the statues. "You were more than a soldier," he said softly. "You were hope." He turned to leave, but then the statue's eyes glowed faintly blue. A familiar voice echoed through the air. "I'm not gone, General. I'm just watching the stars." Korath smiled. "Then watch well, Commander, you earned it." He looked to the sky, where a faint streak of blue light crossed the heavens, like a comet made of memory. And across the galaxy, a whisper carried through every species, every world, every soul. Humanity stands eternal. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic tales from across the universe. We'll see you in the next one. For centuries, the galaxy healed, worlds rebuilt. The name Serena Vale became a legend, a myth whispered in academies and sung in halls of warriors. Children grew up on tales of the human who defied gods, but no one truly believed she was real, a symbol of courage that time itself could not erase. But deep in the outer veil, far beyond mapped space, something stirred. On a cold blue planet orbiting a dying star, a small group of explorers from the Galactic Union made a discovery. Their ship's scanners had picked up energy readings matching the ancient signature of Serena Vale herself. Captain Lira Voss, a young human with sharp eyes and a fearless heart, stepped onto the frozen surface, her wrist device beeping. "Power readings are stable," she announced, "but it's old, like it's been sleeping here for ages." Her second-in-command, a Draven warrior named Crix, hissed softly. "Maybe some old weapon. We should not touch it." Lira just smiled. "If it's human, I'm touching it." They journeyed through an icy valley until they found a vast chamber buried under the ice. Its smooth silver metal walls glowed with a faint blue light, the same blue that once lit Serena Vale's eyes. Lira placed her hand on a central panel. The metal warmed instantly, responding to her human DNA. The floor trembled. Light flooded the room, forming a holographic figure, tall, calm, and shining. It was Serena Vale, or rather, her echo. "If you're hearing this," the hologram said, her voice echoing through the ages, "then the galaxy still stands. That means we won." The explorers were frozen in awe. Lira whispered, "It's her, the Starborn commander." The hologram continued, "But victory comes with a cost. The power of the ancients still flows, hidden, waiting, and soon it will call again. When that day comes, you must be ready." Then the hologram turned, its gaze locking directly onto Lira, as if seeing her across time. "You, child of Earth, carry my spark." Lira's heart pounded as the device on her wrist began to glow with that same faint blue. "Remember," Serena's voice whispered, "humanity doesn't fade, it evolves." The light flared, and the vault shook violently. Outside, the ice split open as beams of blue energy shot into the sky, forming massive rings of light. Every ship in orbit went silent, their sensors screaming with overload. Crick shouted, "Captain, what is happening?" Lira looked up, trembling but resolute. "She's coming back." From the storm of light, a figure began to form, human-shaped, glowing like a newborn star. As she opened her eyes, the entire valley shook. "It's time," she said softly. It was Serena Vale, reborn. Across the galaxy, ancient relics awakened. Old ships, powered by forgotten tech, came online. The Galactic Union Command received the same chilling message on every channel. "The star gods have returned. The veil is breaking." Fear spread, but so did hope. Because the message ended with one line that every being understood, no matter their language: humanity has risen again. Serena, now more energy than flesh, looked at Lira. "You are my echo," she said, "a spark left behind for when the stars needed us again." Lira, filled with awe, asked, "What are we facing?" Serena turned toward the horizon. "Not gods, not machines, something older, the ones who built the first stars. They are returning to claim their creation." Lira clenched her fists. "Then we'll fight them too." A warm, almost human smile crossed Serena's face. "That's what humans do." She raised her hand and the ground responded. Massive constructs of silver and blue, the ancient Starborn arcs, rose from beneath the ice. Serena looked at her new apprentice. "Gather the worlds. The next age of war begins now." In orbit, the first Starborn fleet formed, its ships glowing with blue light, carrying humans and aliens side by side. Lira stood on the bridge, her voice steady. "Fleet ready, Commander." Serena looked out into the stars, where new shadows were beginning to move. Her voice was soft, but filled with fire. "Then let's remind the universe why humanity stands eternal." The fleet roared forward, disappearing into the light. And somewhere beyond time, the star gods whispered once more, "The fire never dies." Thank you for watching this epic tale unfold. If you love stories that span the stars, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure. See you in the next one.